We are live.
Oh man, every Tuesday night we get so excited because we always bring some icons to the drop-in where we just drop in on people. I look back today, 4 months we've been doing this, man. This is the 18th
Man,
episode of the
four
drop-in.
months.
I know, and we
Wow.
started this because of the pandemic, just trying to do something different, at night because we were bored. But man, we created we
Good
created
point.
we created some good stuff, man. I'm so excited to bring to the mic, and we talked to her already, but let me do it this way. She's from Springfield, Virginia, and of course she matriculated at the University of Tennessee, played for the great Pat Summit. And did I mention that I had a great career there? Did I mention that she won a gold medal in 2008 Olympian as well? Went from there to the first round draft pick in the WNBA, played 13 years there. Oh man, got into broadcasting, doing what we're doing, a better job than what we're doing on TV and radio and calling games. Of course, left there and went to be an assistant coach for the NBA team, Chucky. Imagine that. Yeah, getting it in, man. The Boston
Celtics.
And as of late, recently, we're so excited to have her matriculating with us and hanging out with us here in Durham as the head basketball coach for the women's Blue Devils. Coach, welcome to the drop-in. How you doing?
Thank you guys for having me. It's been a whirlwind the last month and a half. Finally in Durham, our staff is in Durham. Our students started classes last Monday. Mm-hmm. Our players started workouts last Monday. So now feels like everything's coming together, and getting a chance to be on campus with them has been awesome.
I know we was trying to make this happen a couple of weeks ago, but Lindy told me that you was meeting with your crew for the first time on campus. How was that? Because, things are so different now, like unprecedented times for everybody. How you engage with students, during this particular time?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't have the same access to each other. I mean, that we normally have. We have to stay socially distant. We have to wear masks. And I spent the first couple weeks when the players were back on campus having one-on-ones with them for an hour each, getting a chance to just sit down with them and talk to them. I didn't recruit these players. I didn't sit in their homes. I didn't get to know their families. So it was very important for me in the first few weeks to spend some real time with them, build a relationship with them, get to know them get to know me. And that's what my evenings were spent doing. The first couple of weeks was having a couple sessions a night with each player. We did it outside, sat on some yoga mats, and we're far enough apart that we could take our masks off. Because as you guys know, it's really hard to communicate with masks. It's really hard to see someone's true facial expressions, to be able to learn and build a foundation of a coach-player relationship. So we did those outside as a first meeting and learned a lot about our players. Hopefully they learned a little bit about me as well. And just the first step, just having one-on-one with a player doesn't mean you have a relationship, right? I mean, it takes time. It takes effort, consistent effort in building that. And that's what I'm spending a lot of my time doing, is building relationships with our current players.
I'm going to get this one other one in before I let the other crew jump in. Let's back up a little bit. You've done so much. I was playing college basketball, professional basketball, not coaching at every level. Did you always want to do this? Is this something you always wanted to do?
Be a coach? Yeah, it is something I wanted to do. I knew pretty early on that I was going to be involved in sports in some type of way for the rest of my life. Just always been enamored by it. I love being in a competitive environment. I love being a part of a team. When I'm not, the times I haven't been a part of a team in my life, just don't feel as fulfilled as a person. And so I knew coaching was in my future. That's why I chose to go to the University of Tennessee to play for the best coach in the country, in Pat Summit. Had a chance to do that and learned a lot from her. And then I played a long time, and I didn't put a timetable on if and when I would be a coach or what level I would coach. I just knew I would coach. And I had so much fun playing. I wanted to play as long as I could because, we talk about it all the time. Once you're done, you're done. You don't get to do it back. You don't get to do it over. So play as long as you can, enjoy it. And then when it's time to be done, I knew that there would be time for me to be a coach after that. And then I just started to look for, when I finished playing, or once I stopped playing WNBA, I just started to look for an entry point into coaching. What would be a good entry point for me to start coaching? And I started working with the 3-on-3 programs at USA Basketball, started coaching high school girls. And then the next year coached high school boys, and then coached some G League players and coached some WNBA players. And then I was fully immersed in coaching, even though it was 3-on-3 style, it was still coaching. And once I got done with that, or I shouldn't say done with that, I'm still doing it. Once I got into that, I started getting calls from NBA teams to be a part of staffs, and ultimately decided to make the full jump, all the way in with coaching with the Boston Celtics.
Wow. Outstanding, Coach. Just listening to you talk about that journey, listening to you talk about your desire to be a coach. What's, going back to your interview, I guess, some of the interviews you've had, what's a couple of the things that you think that you can impart, a little level of wisdom and some other things you can impart on some of these young minds that's coming into the profession that want to play basketball at the college level as well as the professional level?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I tell our players and and explain to them is anything that they want to do, I've done. And it's not to say not to be overconfident about it. It's just to let them know that when I'm giving them advice or when I'm teaching them something, it's coming from a place of deep knowing. Like not knowing, but like deep knowing, because
yeah, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, like I don't think it works, like I know it works. And so, that's what I want them to understand, is asking them to do things a certain way, holding them to a certain standard. There's a reasoning behind that, because if that's what you want to do, if that's what your stated goal is, then this is what you have to do in order to make that happen. Mm-hmm. And, so that's something that we talk with our players a lot about in terms of what their goals are. And that doesn't mean that every player's goal is to play in the WNBA or should be to play in the WNBA, right? These goals are individualized, and we have young women on our team that have varied interests. I mean, they have big goals in their careers as well. And what they want to achieve and how they want to impact people. So, those areas are something I'm supportive of as well, and have experience in as well. I mean, I had a great career in broadcasting, so it's not like my whole thing was about playing, right? I mean, I have varied interests and have had success in other parts of my life as well. And so I think all of those experiences help give me a unique perspective as a coach to young women that have big dreams.
Wow. Good stuff.
So I have a question. You're bringing a wealth of knowledge, obviously, and we're just getting done talking about that, but you're bringing a wealth of knowledge to a group of young women. What was that experience like, and why was it so important to hit the ground running with building the rapport and the relationship with your players?
I think the reason why it's important to build a relationship, I mean, we all as human beings, right, are built to be in relationships. Like that's what we're built to do, whether it's our family, our friends, whatever it is. And when you're built for relationships, the reason why they're important is because any relationship goes through adversity. It's just it's a natural part of life. And so when you hit that adversity, what is your foundation? Where's the trust? Where are you able to go back to be able to get through that? And that's true for any relationship that you have, right? Whether it's a coach player, whether it's a husband wife, whether it's a teacher and a student, whether it's a brother and a sister, right? Especially siblings. I mean, any relationship, right, is going to go through adverse times. And when that happens, it has to be solid enough in order for you to get through that. And so when I look at a coach-player relationship and that we're both starting from scratch, in order for us to get to a point where we can handle adversity, where we're going to be able to put that behind us, we have to have a level of trust. We have to have a foundation. Like I have to know where their heart is. I have to know that that they're trying to do what's best for our team. And they have to know that I'm going to do always what's best for our team, but also I want what's best for them. It's not mutually exclusive all the time, right? What's best for them can be what's best for the team. But they have to know that. They have to feel that. They have to believe that. When they do believe that, now when I have to get on them about something or I need them to raise their level a little bit, they know where it's coming from. And so that's why I think it was important to have talks with them early and to continue to do so as our relationship builds. And I think that's just a core part of how we do things here at Duke. We're a relationship program. It's something that is really important to us. I think when you build solid relationships, it enables you to get the best out of people around you, whether they're athlete or not. It enables you to allow them to feel that they are valued and that you are somebody that's invested in them being a success.
Wow.
All right, Coach, I got a question. Now, with you coming into the program and like you said, not having recruited the women there, do you think that it's difficult? Do you think it will be difficult because, at least for the first couple of years, because you didn't recruit these players to fit the way you want to play, or because I coach in high school, and when you're in high school, you get what you get. You know what I'm saying? So, do you think it's going to be difficult to coach how you want to coach, like to start out, because you didn't recruit the players?
Yeah, I think that I can coach anybody. And I think what really helped prepare me for that was coaching USA basketball, similar to what you talked about in high school. Like at USA basketball, you get who you get. You don't get to pick the team. They give you the team. And they say, this is who's on your team, and this is what you have, and you make it work. And I think that that's true for any level. As a coach, your job is to accentuate the strengths of the players that you have. And that's your job, and find a way to win games, however you need to do it. So that's kind of how I look at it. Now, are there certain way that we want to play? Sure, there is. But the most important thing about how we want to play is with great toughness, competitive, things that aren't about X and O, or things that aren't about scheme. And any team that I've ever coached or been a part of, what you think you're going to run always changes.
Right.
So like what we started out in Boston this year running, we still run some of the same stuff, but it evolves. It changes as the year goes on. You find an action that maybe works better. You thought this action was going to be one of your go-tos, and then you get 20 games in the season, and you're like, this is not really a good play for us. We're going to, let's try something different. I think you have to be adaptable as a coach, and you have to be willing to throw something out, throw something out of the playbook, and you've got to be willing to add something to the playbook. That's where my time with Brad Stevens in Boston was really valuable for me, because Brad gets it. Like he'll say, no, that's not good. We're going to throw that out, or let's add this. He really gets it from that sense.
That's an interesting segue. No, Jasmine, you got to get your tennis lessons, so we're going to say goodbye to you, Jasmine. Hit them straight.
Bye, Jasmine.
Bye, Jazz.
Yeah, I just want to say bye. I have to jump off. It was a pleasure.
All right, thank you. So
Coach, an interesting segue from that point. You mentioned, what did you learn with that experience? And I thought it was really cool that all of them were dressed up in Duke T-shirts, I think, right after you had left. That was a really good gesture. What did you learn during your tenure there at Boston that you can just bring with you here to Durham?
Oh, man, I learned so much. I mean, I think the most powerful thing for me was getting a chance to observe Brad every day. Mm-hmm. Okay, what was his demeanor like after we won? What was his demeanor like after we lost? What was, how did he handle this in-game situation? To get a front row seat to watch one of the great coaches in the NBA day in, day out, how he prepares, how he gets our team ready. That was a masterclass in coaching. And so to be able to see that is what I'll take away. And really what I'll take away, guys, are the relationships. You know, I still talk to Brad every week. I mean, I still talk to him. I still text with the coaches on the staff. I still text with the players. I FaceTime with them sometimes. I mean, I'm still connected with them. So the takeaway is the relationships and the fact that I'm still talking to those guys. I can't wait for, you know, the round 2 to start on Thursday against Toronto. And you won't find a bigger fan of Boston than me, in particular this group, because I have so many great relationships with them. And that's really what my biggest takeaway is. And I'm fortunate to have Brad as a mentor. He's somebody that you know, has been in the position I'm in before, being a first-time head coach in college, being tasked to lead a program, and understands you know, the demands of that job. And that's why he's been such a great resource for me, because he's somebody that's been in the seat that I'm in right now.
Wow. You know, Coach, just listening to you talk and understanding your resume, I know we've talked to you on the show a couple of times before, you know, talking to a lot of young and your credentials and your accomplishments, and they think she's done it all. It's so easy for her. It's, you know, no problems. You know, I'm nowhere near like her. What's some of the advice you give or you want to give a lot of these young, impressionable minds that are going to be your players coming up that really don't understand the struggle and know where what they're going to face moving forward?
I mean, I think every person in life, whether you succeed at a high level or you're working towards succeeding at a high level, goes through challenges and goes through adversity. That's not unique. That's not unique to any journey, right? And you know, I've faced my share of adversity, and I think the main thing for me is just knowing that it's temporary, and knowing that
which they wouldn't understand because they're young.
Yeah, and knowing that it makes you better. You know, it makes you better. To be challenged is something that helps you grow. And if things are easy, you never really grow. It's the tough times and it's the challenges and the people that kind of stretch you that make you better. Now, if you'd have told me that when I was a freshman playing for Pat Summitt that she was going to make me better, I knew she'd make me better, but I just really didn't like her very much. It was really hard, and she was on me a lot. And you know, so the hard stuff I wasn't worried about growing. I was worried about making it through practice. But looking back on that, with the access to the results and knowing how everything has ended up, I'm thankful for the adversity, and I'm thankful for not quitting during the adversity. Right? Like, I've never met anybody that's quit during the adversity and been like, "Oh man, I'm so glad I just cut the cord like in the middle." Like, I'm glad, right? Everyone that you talk to in hindsight's like, "Man, I'm so glad I pushed through that." Right? You're not going to find people who are like, "Hey, you know, I'm glad I quit on that. That was the best thing I did was I quit on that." Right? It's always, no, I didn't quit. I pushed through, and then ultimately I was able to reap the benefit.
Access to the results. I like that, Coach. I'm gonna steal that one. So I'm just
good.
letting you know.
Go ahead, Chucky.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, how did have you spoken to like Jason Tatum? You know, he was a Duke guy, and how did he feel about you coming in and taking the job at Duke?
Yeah, JT is a special young man. He was grinning ear to ear in the bubble when everybody found out that I was that I was going to be the coach at Duke. And he was super excited, said some really nice things at the start of practice, one of our team huddles, about going to Duke. And still text with JT. He's playing amazing right now. He's doing a great job leading that team. And to just be 22 years of age and doing what he's doing in a grown man's league, it's really impressive. And he's going to come back. I mean, obviously, he has roots here. Got a great relationship with Coach K and the coaches here. So he's going to come back, I'm sure, at some point. His son is growing like a weed, dude. You know, 15 years from now, we might be seeing Deuce in in a Duke uniform too.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow. Coach, not stating the obvious, you're African American, of course. The first African American female to coach, particularly on the women's basketball program. Should we make a big deal out of that, or we shouldn't?
You know, I've been fortunate in my career to be a part of a lot of firsts, and I'm not saying that because I'm bragging. I'm just saying that through my time being involved in basketball from a minority female standpoint, I've done a lot of things for the first time, and I really kind of ignored it. Didn't really have much time for it because I always wanted to be noticed for the work I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's important. But I will share with you in this time in our country where we're dealing with so much. I don't think you can ignore it or just want to be noticed for the work, because anytime that there's something positive that can be taken taken in from a member of the African American community in this country right now, we need to take it, right?
There you go.
So,
Yep.
to watch someone like Kamala Harris be the first minority woman to be on a presidential ticket,
Yep.
to watch different people, all over our society make strides and gain accolades that are first of their kind. I think it's something that should be recognized. I think it's something that should be supported. And I will tell you, I have felt the support since I've been down here. Everywhere I go, I've been surprised. I kind of just figured I'd go where I'd need to go and go to the grocery store and go to Target. And, I'm 5'8", so I don't stand out. It's not like people know me. And everybody knows me down here. And
Right.
I'm blown away. And I tell you, I've had more Carolina fans come up to me and they say to me, they say that they're a Carolina fan. That's like the first thing they say to me.
Yeah, that's like saying hello. That's like saying hello.
Yeah, that's the first thing they say to me. But I'll tell you, the second thing they say to me, if they're an African American, is, well, we're really excited about you being here, and we want to support. We're going to support you.
Right. Right.
Because the thing about the African American community that we all know, having been a part of it since we were born, is that we support each other.
Yep.
Right.
That's what it is, and it goes beyond the color blue that you wear. It goes beyond that, and so that's something that when I started getting approached by people wearing light blue, I got a little worried in the beginning. What's about to happen here?
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? Is this how it's? Is this where it's going to go down? Okay.
Right.
But that's what it's been about. That's what it's been about, and that's something that makes me real proud to be. I mean, already proud to be a part of the African American community, but this is, as you guys are well aware, the most bitter rivalry in college sports. And it just goes to show at this time in our country how powerful something like that can be to our community.
Right.
Well, you
Coach,
got the support of the red and white as well. I'm an NC State guy. You got the support of the red and white as well. So I just want to get that in. Go ahead, K-Mac.
Yeah, Coach. I wanted to along some of those lines. We all three of us, we have daughters, right? We're a father of daughters, and our daughters are striving to be professionals and trying to be the best they can in their own individual careers and their own individual rights. But as an African-American female, being a professional, making their way through this process of being a professional, being at the top of their game, what's some of the things that some of the words of wisdom you can impart upon young women, especially African-Americans or minorities, that are looking to kind of make strides and make their own way? Can't be the first because you've already beat them to it, but can make their strides their own way in some different areas, because you're a perfect example of some things they have to do, but I'm not sure they can see all the things you had to do to kind of get that way.
Yeah, the first thing I think that was pivotal for me is just the belief, instilling the belief, the confidence that I have in my abilities. And that started with my parents, right? My dad told me when I was young that I was going to have to persevere, that I was going to have to be not just as good as everybody, but better than everybody as a Black woman in order to earn things in this society. So it wasn't something that was hidden from me. It was something that was told to me at an early age. And it wasn't told to me as like a burden I needed to carry. It was really told to me as a challenge that I needed to accept. And if I wanted to achieve great things in life, I was going to have to be better. That was the option. The option wasn't to be as good or worse and sit and complain about it. That the challenge was to be better. And so that was a mindset that was instilled in me at an early age. And that was something that I always kept with me when I was in school, when I was playing sports, when I was learning how to be an adult, when I was learning how to grow. And that is probably one of the truest things that my dad ever told me. And it was true when I was 4 years old and he told it to me, and it's true now at 39. You have to be prepared to be better. And when you are prepared to be better, you don't fall victim to all of those things that 99% of people do when they're on the road to achieving great things. You don't fall into excuses. You don't fall into, oh, somebody had it out for me, or I wasn't going to get this because of this or that. You are able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I got to be better. Like, I didn't get this because I got to be better. And that has served me well. Just every day waking up and working to be better. And if I can do that here at Duke every day, work to be better, then I think that's going to serve me well as a head coach.
Outstanding.
Oh man, that's great stuff. I got a little doozy here, Coach. I'm gonna ask you as a coach, local coach Marlon Lee, who's a coach at Clayton High School. He had a former player named Asia Tar who left Liberty University. She's been in the news a lot, and was a former player at Clayton High School. His question is, how would you, as a leader, use basketball to let your players express themselves during these uneasy racial times?
Yeah, I think the thing the first thing that you do is you have conversations with them about it. And that's why I've had the one-on-one conversations. I'm going through my second round. So we talked about the first round. I'm going through my second round with players right now. I actually had 2 of them today. And I'm not going to share everything we talked about because it's personal with the players, but we did talk about those issues. And we did have a chance to share what we thought about those issues, express our feelings about them, express what we wanted to do, at whether it was speaking, whether it was actions, whatever it is. I'm not afraid to have those conversations. There's something that impact me every day, just like they impact you. So these are things that we deal with on an everyday basis. So to have a conversation about it is what should be happening with all of our athletes, their coaches. And so if we don't shy away from that, it's something that's a regular part of our dialogue. And as far as how they want to express themselves, they can, I talk to them all the time. So if they want to express themselves in a certain way, then they're able to, as long as it's not something that is, it's got to be done in the right way. And what I mean by that is, it's not that you're trying to censor them, but you want to make sure that as a young woman, that they're able to express themselves in a way that's trying to achieve what they want. So, we talk about a lot of things. We talked about this with our Celtics players too. Obviously, the NBA players have been terrific in terms of expressing themselves, in terms of calling for social justice reform. And it just depends on where they want to make an impact. Do they want to make an impact in education reform? Do they want to make an impact in criminal justice reform? Do they want to make an impact in voting reform? I mean, there's so many ways to make an impact. It's not just, I want it to be better. It's like, okay, well, we can all want it to be better, but what do you want to do to help make it better?
Mm-hmm.
And so solution-based problem solving, I think, is the best form of language to talk with them about and say, okay, where do you want to impact, and try to help them find ways to do so.
Good stuff. Hey
Yeah,
guys,
I think that's
ahead,
that's awesome that you have those type of conversations with the players, because I think nowadays it's different than years ago when I played, where coaches didn't really talk to you as much. I think the players need to know that you care about them more than just in a basketball sense. You care about them as people. I think the players need to know that nowadays. I think especially with the social media stuff. I think that's great what you're doing, and like your dad, like you talking about your dad, it kind of reminds me. I have 3 daughters myself, so and I love seeing women in power. You know what I'm saying? So I try to tell them that you can do anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not, some of the stuff that your dad would say to you, like I tell my daughter, if you're not good enough, get good enough. Stuff like that. So, I mean, that just kind of touched me. I just wanted to say that. That's it.
Wow. Well, hey, I told Lindy that we was gonna only hold coach for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a few more minutes. I can't let her overstay her time here. So go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, Coach, you made me think now as you was just talking. I just was thinking that, you talked about the Celtics players and the guys in the NBA and how you talk to your players. And I know it's probably came up a couple of times, in the bubble and other places. People tell NBA stars and what have you, you're worth millions and millions of dollars. What do you have to complain about? What are you talking about? Do they feel like they, just because, they have money or what have you, people don't think that they feel the same effects that we feel as African Americans, just normal everyday life, so to speak?
The issues that human beings deal with are similar, no matter what your station in life is. And so our players with the Celtics go through the same things that you go through.
Yep.
And they need the same type of support that you need. And so being a part of their support group was important to me, is important to me. I shouldn't say was, it is important to me. And, players need to know that they're cared for, that they're supported, that they have people that they can come talk to. It's something I talk about with our players here at Duke a lot. I say to them, I said, one of the most powerful lessons you can learn as a person is knowing when and how to ask for help when you need help. Because so many of us don't want to suppress that or don't want to ask. And an important thing for especially going through college is that you feel comfortable to communicate if you need help. If you don't need help, but if you need help, you feel comfortable to communicate that. And in our program, that's something that we try to emphasize and hope that they will feel comfortable enough to do so. It doesn't have to be me. They don't have to talk to me about something. It could be one of our assistant coaches. It could be a member of our support staff. It could be anybody. But don't be afraid to do that. Our young men in Boston have been phenomenal. They've been phenomenal leaders in this time right now. They have a great understanding of how powerful their platform is, and they are using it in a real and meaningful way. And that made me really proud to be a part of what they're doing, because it was something special to watch them grow and mature and really embrace that responsibility.
Awesome. That's totally awesome. Okay, Chucky, what you got for Coach before we let her roll out here?
Well, hey, Coach, I have a 8th grader that I'm going to make her get good enough so you can recruit her. She will be going to Green Hope High School. She will get good enough so you can recruit her. And thank you so much for your time, Coach. That's all I got to say.
K-Mac, what you got, man, before we let Coach go?
Hey, look, Coach, I know a 9th grader that we can get to be good enough. So you recruit her, Coach.
Oh, there you go. Get the whole squad going.
We'll get involved. But Coach, well, honestly, Coach, I will say, like I said, we've talked to you before, and the level of professionalism and leadership you show as a father to African American young women that are trying to be professionals, that need role models, that need to be able to see these type of things can happen. Continue to be a professional. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
I couldn't say it better. What they see is what they be. They need to see people. Coach Lawson, Vice President Harris. We got to see people there so we can say, I can do the same thing. And obviously, we knew he was coming when we found out about it. James Mitchell was a friend of all ours, called us and said, "That's my girl," and we couldn't wait to talk to you on the show. And thank you for giving us a little time. I know you're busy, Lord knows.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing just some really good nuggets that people can take with us. We can take with us ourselves. And it's been an honor, Coach. And we're looking forward to supporting you while you're here. And anything you need from us, just let us know. We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
you.
Coach. When we get back to having fans at games, would love to have you guys at a game for sure.
And we'll be there, Coach.
We'll love to do it, Coach. Take care.
All right. See you, Coach.